I've read a lot of your books, and this is The Golden Notebook.
Yeah.
And it was really something extraordinary that happened, because it was a new way of writing as well as it was what it was all about.
Yes, it was, but don't imagine the reviewers noticed it, certainly not.
No?
No.
What did they
said
notice?
was, this is a man-hater. She is a balls breaker. That was the level of their criticism. Since then, I've had no time whatsoever for any reviewer. That's what they're like, actually. But I have to tell you something now. My cousin Diana sent me a little bit of newsprint. It said that Obama likes 10 writers, and the Golden Notebook is in there. Now, what has happened is that an aide has said, look, Obama, you should know about these books. But it's quite nice, a little puff.
It's really nice, but I think I read this again, and I think it's all about the difference, the balance in both men and women, but of course women at most, balancing being together in a relationship and still be aware of your freedom, financially, intellectually, and it's still going on like that.
You're talking about the writing about sex and love and all that stuff. Well, there's a lot more in that book than that theme, you know.
I know, but I think the way they are discussing the two women, I can recognize still all that.
Well, you know, what people forget is that they were all communists or ex-communists. And what the Communist Party did, everybody in it, because of this arrogance of thinking that everything was going to depend on us, we knew about things. We knew what was going on in Peru, or reading the latest book and all that. We were enormously well-informed people. It's not happening now. Of course, it's gone. But that is a background to that, which you have to remember when you read it. These are people who are convinced that everything is going to depend on me, my behaviour, my thoughts. And that is why all these people discuss everything all the time. We did discuss everything all the time. You know, if somebody, if something happens in Venezuela, my God, you should know about it.
So what did that do with these, what happened with these people? Did they feel that it was possible? I mean, it makes a difference what I do.
That is why I recorded the Khrushchev speech to the 20th Congress, which you probably have never heard of. The 20th Congress of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Khrushchev stood up and said politely that Stalin was a bit of a bastard. It absolutely cracked the left open. I mean, all parts of the left. It was the end of innocence, because enormous numbers of people believed that we were going to go forward into a beautiful dawn where all nastiness would have gone forever. I know this shows we were a bit stupid, but a lot of people believed it. I have to say I had now left these thoughts behind. So it was enormously complicated, the results of the Khrushchev speech, because I and some people like me were angry that he hadn't come properly clean, because Stalin was much worse than he said. It was only a partial confession. But for some people, the communists, like religion, it broke them up. You know, they had went into monasteries and committed suicide, and that was what the Golden Notebook was written as a background to all this. It was a loss of faith, a loss of idealism, goodbye to all that. And that was a background to the Golden Notebook. But now no one can recognize that, because the whole scene is gone. Nobody believes in any kind of political perfection, despite Obama.
So left that is remembered as a feministic cult book.
Yes, well, that's...
But you don't like that, really, do you?
What?
That this is one of the most important feministic...
Yes, I remember all this, because it did me a lot of harm. What happened was that France and Germany wouldn't publish the Golden Notebook. It had been published everywhere else, from Sweden, and it did fine. No one... France and Germany said it was too irritating or whatever, and there would be trouble. But it came out to coincide with the feminists in both countries, and they grabbed that book and made it theirs, which did me an immense amount of damage, and I don't forgive them. The terrible exclusivity of the feminist movement. It's really very shocking.
Why did you disagree so much about that?
Because it meant that other people who would like the book didn't read it. I don't know how many letters I've had from men saying, I never read it because the feminists had claimed it, but now I'm sorry because I like it very much. I've had a lot of letters. The feminists, this is ours. So a shocking lot they are, you know, and on many, many grounds. But however, Leslie, for that, I do not forgive them. They're just stupid people. So they ruined the Golden Notebook for me, for my, what I wanted from it.
So if young new people read this book, what would you like them to...
They like it. I mean, that's another thing. I was walking along in Hampstead, and here are these two lovely little girls of about 15, and they bounce up to me and say, "Hi, Doris." It's me. "Hi, Doris. We've just been doing the Golden Notebook. Wow." And off they bounced. Now, there was no time for me to say this was once considered a difficult book. No, no. Bye. So it is all so funny. Well, it is funny, isn't it?
It's funny and it's interesting because you can always read a book like this with different glasses
No, well, they don't
on.
know the background at all. The Guardian has a book club. Last year, they were doing the Golden Notebook. So I go down, and there's a very mixed audience, going from old people like me to little children, just about. They knew nothing. I had to conduct a history lesson. They'd never heard that there were any party congresses, and that the left were, all of the left were like this, you know, and that there was a religion died in the beginning of the Golden Notebook.
What did all of these people that you belong to, what did they do with all this disappointment?
Well, at the end of the Golden Notebook, I have one getting married, which I write as if it's a terrible failure, and the other one becomes a social worker.
So what happened with you? Was it a...
Well, I was never totally committed. I wasn't one of the 100%ers.
I thought you were really committed. I thought you were very committed, weren't you?
Not really. Not compared. You know, for some people, the Communist Party, like take a child from the East End who's never had any proper education. Their education was the Young Communist League. There were many of them. Suddenly they're told that it's all lies. It's not true. Well, it was a terrible thing for them. It was really... I mean, I cannot begin to convey how awful it was for these people, because they hadn't had any other education but the Young Communist League and then the Communist Party.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
letting me have
Thank you. So I've enjoyed that, right?
Thank you.